Peace and blessings, family. We're back. How you
What's
doing,
up,
sissy?
everybody in Facebook land? I'm doing great. Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. You know, I put my glasses off and on, but I'm doing great. I'm
Oh yeah.
recuperated. I'm recuperated um, from this past Thursday
Sister
experience.
Sister
Huh?
Belazar said you guys gonna have a special one tonight. The game is on and it's real serious over here where I'm at. I'm sure it is. It's serious in my house too. My husband in there talking to the TV. So
You talking about
yeah,
that game that's fixed?
right. What's going on, Tasha? How was your week, sissy?
It was great. You know, I spent most of it with you, which was really cool. I
Anytime
like
anybody with
being
me
with
is
my
great
sister
times. So
now. What'd you say?
I say anytime you with me is great times.
That's right.
Well, that's where we went this week. We went down to the Jennifer Hudson show.
For
Yeah,
taping.
that was awesome sauce.
Yeah, thank you
Great
for
time.
rolling, sis. I had such
Yeah,
a
that was
wonderful time. And it was just the whole experience was awesome. The taping was fun. Meeting people when we first got there was fun. One of the things I would say about being in it was in Burbank at Warner Brothers Studios. A lot of the black women we came over to each other, said hello to each other, let us get in line with them, and
we
it
fixed
was
each other clothes if it was
yeah,
messed up, like tuck a tag in. Yeah, it
yeah,
was just
it was
it
just
was chill.
beautiful. Yeah, I was so appreciative, so appreciative for that time. And Jennifer Hudson was beautiful. She was very poised. She was down to earth. She reminded me in her ways of Diane
Diane
Carroll,
Kara.
especially the Diane Carroll from Dynasty, like when
Hey
she was
Kelly.
Dominique Devereaux. So she just
Mhm.
looked just fierce. You know what I mean? So anyway, what about you? What was your
It wa
thoughts
it
on
was super fun. We got to get up and dance on the stage and everything, so I thought that was fun. They were very interactive with their audience, so I thought that was fun. The guy, the MC that keeps everybody going in between takes was absolutely a hilarious little short white
yeah,
man that was so funny. Like
yeah,
my face was literally tight up from laughing. My cheeks was hurting. We laughed so hard.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
thought that was dope. And just to be able to hug one of the dream girls was super dope. Like got
yeah.
to hug her and say some words to her. Like people usually tape and be like, "Okay, I'm out of here. I'm Hollywood." She was not like that. She came into the like she was very down to earth, and it was just cool to get out of town for a day too, just to, you know, get away. You know what I mean? So
So
it
we're
was a
definitely
very good
gonna do that
experience.
again. Yeah, we got to
Yeah,
do it again.
definitely
That made I was on a high for a couple of days. It was so
that
awesome.
part.
So
That
thank
part.
you,
Oh yeah,
thank you. We love you,
that's
Jennifer
it.
Hudson.
Yes, we do. But yeah, and my week was it was a good week anyway. Like as you know, I'm kind of redoing the office a little bit, like getting some things together. And I like to organize, so that's like I know people think I'm crazy, but I love paperwork. So to be able to get an organizing system of paperwork and stuff like that, like I'm in my happy place. I put some music on and boom, it's a wrap. I can't wait to sit on the show with you sisters soon. Definitely, let's get some topics we want to talk about. Um, but yeah, it was a good week.
Well, we hope that let me pull this up that we will see you
Oh,
on
that's right,
I'm gonna
Friday,
pull this up right now. Yeah,
Friday,
it's, it's,
February
it's, it's
1st.
Thursday.
It's Thursday. Okay, Thursday, February 1st. No, I think
Yeah,
it's is it Thursday? Okay, so y'all don't
yeah.
get me the line. I'm about to mess it all up. She gonna
Yeah,
pull it up. We finna see.
it's a Thursday, but yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right
Uh,
now. So yes, Thursday, February the 1st at
okay, my
6:30
bad.
at our office. And so what's going to be happening is, and I hope that everyone got the invites. I'm gonna send some things out. We're going to be having Dr. Flo and My Bang and the two sisters that are running for office in District 2, because that's the only two I was able to give. We're trying to pull together all the women candidates for them to come and really talk to us, because you never know, even if you don't live in that person's district, you just never know. We can influence other people who do live in your district to vote for you.
Absolutely.
But to hear some women, and particularly these is for Black women, to hear what these folks that are running for office that are women in particular, what would they be doing for us?
Yeah,
So,
and
because I
don't
don't
be
think sometimes we
deterred.
ever see that one.
And don't be deterred to attend it if they're not running in your district, like she said, because some of the same needs are all across Sacramento. So even if you don't
Yeah,
live in their district, the needs that you have your district may equate to something you have to do over there. Because I invited people that I know are in their district, but they'll be very insightful on asking some good questions. So I think this is really good. And I just want to say it's what's your question mark, Kelly? I don't understand what your question mark for. But I think it would be good just to be able to sit down and have a voice with them, just to kind of see where their head is at. Too often we go on a ballot in the box and we just, uh putting in ballots and we don't know anything about the people that are running. So I think that is a very good idea, and I hope we get some, good uh dialogue going. I really do, because it's very much
And I
needed.
really, yeah, I really hope we set a trend that people can sit down with just agree. This is not a large group, by the way, but these are some people who are influential as well. You know what I'm saying? I say influential, Lord Jesus,
Hmm.
who are influential. I can't even say the word. Say it.
Influential.
Thank you.
Influential.
I feel like
Got you.
yeah. So in their community, and so I really, and I'm not gonna lie, because I want to hear what these candidates will do for a person like me. So I'm not extremely poor, but I'm also not rich. So I'm that person in the middle. I want to know what you're gonna do for me. I want to know what you're gonna do for it to help more home ownership. I want to hear about those things like safety and education, and are you keeping up with the trends? I think sometimes when people run for office, they act like everybody is caring about all the people who are extremely poor, but most people are not extremely poor. Most of us are just struggling. So what would you do for us that are struggling, trying to maintain? I used to hear when I was a kid that the middle class was disappearing. Now I see what they mean by that, because that's kind of like where I am. Even though my mother was poor, she had middle class values, and I think that's why the way we are. But I just feel like it would be nice to hear what you're gonna do for just regular old people.
Good evening, Tina. Hey,
Hey, good
Tina. Hey,
evening.
brother Jermaine.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I think it'd
I
be
just
great.
want to know that. So I hope that y'all will come out, sisters, come out, and get it in. Like really ask those hard questions. And it's okay. It don't have to be a question that affects the whole black race, because we do stuff like that. I'm really talking about the specific things that I belong to. You know what I mean? And I do, because in my life I advocate for people who are struggling, but nobody advocating for people, for poor people, but nobody advocates for those people in the middle. We act like we don't even see them. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So you read the comments, Khadijah? Kelly, you see them?
Well, you was talking. I want to cut you off. Be educated and public service is important and knowledgeable people. Okay.
Yeah, right
Well, I
on.
think everybody is important to me. So I think the person who doesn't usually get to get heard, whether she's just a hardworking woman or whatever, everybody needs to be heard. Whether you feel you're knowledgeable in the political field or not, your voice still needs to be heard. So I don't want a bunch of whole people that just go around and attend board meetings and shit like that and only show up to wreak havoc. I want people that really be, having some concerns or some questions that really want stuff done, not people that just hop around to different meetings to cause ruckus. That's not what this is about. It's not to come pull no call nobody to the carpet or blast nobody. It's really about educating ourselves on what their agenda is and how it can service our personal needs as well as the community in a whole. So I hope it's some good questions come out of this
So that brings
personally.
me. I'm gonna tell you why I decided to pull this together, because the people like this person right here, like um, you know, people like this come to our town, don't know anything about our whole history in the town, and then proceeded to insult black folks. And then I heard people come out. He was deep. A person just calling y'all a bunch of house Negroes and shit. Like that's how you know there's something wrong. So I really don't want to see no goddamn Hotep people, because I'm so sick of them. I'm really sick of them. No, for real.
Yeah,
Because this is when you be able to
yeah.
come in and do no shit like that. And then to have people say, y'all not supporting this. It's more, Negro, who are you? Like, what's wrong with you? People gonna support what they want to support. I'm pretty sure you don't buy all of your food from a black person. I'm pretty sure you go to Safeway. I'm pretty sure you go for the bargain
Not for
discount.
food
I'm
co-op or
pretty sure
whatever.
you
Yeah.
go.
Hmm.
Yeah, we gotta be able to talk to people without trying to make them feel bad. And that's what this
Yeah,
group remind me of. It remind me of an abusive
I
man. Like that's just me.
I didn't. I no, no, I didn't attend. I saw a lot of videos. I saw a very heated debate on somebody's post. And shout out to brother Kyrie Moore. I'm just gonna go ahead and shout you out right quick, Malik. Because you was just talking a lot of truth. I think we have to stop trying to bully black people into thinking. Peace, brother Timothy. I hope you're feeling better. Get well.
We do.
But shout out to brother Kyrie for calling attention to it that would allow, so you would invite somebody in the town to supposedly uplift people, and he gets in there and degrades them and puts them down. And and it was just ludicrous to me. And then to see people that brought him here and say it's for a love donation, but you got a price mark. No, you have ticket price. Say this shit was $20. You can't say a donation and give us a price. So it's a lot of hoodwinking shit that's going on, and it's a lot of, to me, it's very unfortunate that we have a black man that will come to town instead of uplifting. Although he may have said some positive things, people always put a little bit of sugar with the shit so that you can swallow it and digest it. So for him to come in here and say a couple of few deep things and then put people down, thought that shit was crazy. And then to come on here and degrade people for not showing up to support it. No, I'm no hard feelings like that, but I don't see people outside of the particular area they in going over to anybody else to buy black. I don't see nobody in these backpack giveaways and all the shit they do go order black backpacks from a black company. Nobody orders shoes from Master P's line. Nobody's ordering stuff from all these black owned businesses, but we want everybody to support black, but you shop white. Make that make sense to me. We support black owned, but you shop white. We got to stop calling in Dr. Umar. I don't know him personally. I know people like him, like I'm 49, 48 years old, 49 in April, been in the Nation of Islam, all of that stuff since I was 16 years old, around every black national, pro black, power to the people group I've been around. And it's always a nigga sitting around here degrading somebody. Where is his wife, his children, his community, his business that he's building to show as an example? How do we have people come in town and tell us how to be black? He don't have a black wife that we see him with. We don't see him rearing his black children. We don't see him shopping in his black market. We don't see him teaching at his black school. We don't see him doing stuff in his black community. He's from Philadelphia, where we're from, and it's fucked up there. So how are you in Sacramento calling somebody a house nigga, and your hood where you from is fucked up? Make it make sense. So yeah, I think we have to grow up and do for self and stop looking for it. Nobody's coming to save us. We don't have a savior. Dr. Umar don't got all the answers. He can't come tell us a goddamn thing. What he could do is go, and I think men should be talking to men. You can't come and tell a woman how to be a woman and what we should be doing and how we carry ourselves and what we need. When this nigga needs to shape up, he looks ungroomed. His beard looks unkept. You got a lot of personal stuff you need to do before you try to come talk about the masses. But yeah, Kyrie, shout out to you for calling that shit out as a rhetoric. He been touring around doing this shit for years. And if you Johnny come lately and you just now learning that you black, I feel bad for you. It's sad that we would accept somebody like this coming to town to degrade people. Get the fuck out of here, please.
Well, you just said it all. I just felt like we needed to at least tap in on that because I was on that same thread. And I think I said something like he would never be in Philly saying shit like that because Philly,
Hell
the black
no.
folks down there is about that life and death.
And how
Okay, so
insulting is
he,
that?
he wouldn't be able to
That'd
do
be
that,
like going to
huh?
somebody's house and then that's insulting though. Like where
Yeah,
is our integrity as a people that somebody could come into your home and disrespect you? I wish somebody would come sit up in my house, respect me. You're gonna be asked to leave and to never return. Like, where do they do that at? What are we teaching our young people?
Sacramento.
I think that's crazy. Mm-mm,
They do that in
mm-mm.
Sacramento. Like, I mean, I love
I
Sacramento,
guess.
but Sacramento is the only place you can go, not know a soul, and run the joint.
Yeah, that's very true.
Let's just be honest. We've
Very
seen
true.
people do it year after year, Khadijah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And they just
Uh-huh.
kind of run things. And then black folks is, then they mad when they discover the person was a rapist or soldier, just whatever, never really redeemed themselves, talk to women like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Just we know. I mean, we've been there. But
Having abusive history. We got one of them
yeah,
too. Somebody sent
yeah.
me somebody police report that I'd never, share with anybody, showing his domestic violence while he out here trying to tell people how to get their kids together. Like, you whoops ass. Like, and you, huh? So
The way you
I
say
thought
you go,
seriously, because we allow anybody to come into our community and tell us what we're doing wrong and what we should be doing right. And they got a whole history of abuse. Like, you have a criminal record for abuse of women. So you can't get on here and tell me shit about how a black man love a woman or anything because you don't know the proper way. Because you're trying to beat her like she's your child. We have to stop allowing everybody to come into our environment and tell us shit, y'all. Like, stop. It's ridiculous. Ugh, Lord Jesus.
so anyway, family, we just had to kind of. The last thing I want to say too, before we like leave this fool alone, uh, yeah, before we leave this fool alone, I just feel like Khadijah that what always gets me with people like this, when you look out into the audience as I was scanning on videos, it's a bunch of women, and I think black women abuse when you're in love with a black man or you like his rhetoric, because I call it rhetoric because they never prove what they really know. That says something about you. Some of us love black men even when they just really messed up. And it's kind of like, and then you're expecting a different result. Or maybe you don't want a man that's a good and righteous man. Maybe you want a dude you want to have to fix him up like a teddy bear like you find in the trash, and then you're gonna clean it up and scrub it up and then put it in the washer and in the dryer, and then maybe this fool will be okay. So I think it really speaks to the desperation of some, because if this is not you, don't be offended, but of some black women always wanting to be in the movement and thinking that it must be about pain and struggle. Because I don't think love is about pain and struggle. I don't. I don't think I have to take people's baggage and be like, I love him. If he the way he abuses me is beautiful, the way he like all of that kind of shit. Like,
Mhm.
no, no. But I see that, and I've seen it a lot when I was in the nation. I seen it a lot when they're like conscious hotel people. That's a reoccurring thing for women.
Mhm. Yeah.
For women. And that's what I seen when I
It's
was
part
playing
of
out
their
in that
it's part
audience.
of their it's part of their ingraining them into their new religion. It's all of it has a little part of it that says the woman is the
Or
tail and not the head.
yep,
Almost all of it. Tina says I feel a whole misogynistic spirit with Dr. Umar. Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I do too.
So that's all.
But
That's
yeah,
what
you're
I
absolutely right.
see.
You're absolutely right. I agree. And some women like you is full of women because I'm not gonna go take it to the whole deep like this whole daddy issue. Some women are looking for something that they never received, and they feel like when somebody because Dr. Umar he speaks very well. You know, a mouthpiece will get a woman
Most
every
did
time. You
speak
could be broke
well.
and shit with one tooth in your mouth. You know what I mean? And 20 cents in your pocket. You got a mouthpiece. A sister come home, get you some dentures, get your teeth together, put some money. If you got that mouthpiece, Dr. Umar has that mouthpiece for some women. You know,
Yeah.
and they don't care. They'll take all of the little misogynistic sayings and things that he's saying, still give him the time of day because they're searching for something, and they think that he may have the answer. But I don't. You know, I'm gonna
Indeed.
say it again. Where is your wife and children? You slaying your
Yeah.
dick everywhere, having multiple kids. I don't even know nothing about this man, but I need to see. To me, a productive black man is somebody who, especially when he's talking about nation building. How you building a nation and you don't have no mate?
Mm.
So that's crazy to me. So
You better say
just
it.
my opinion.
Uh, we gonna come up off
Just
of
my
Dr.
opinion.
Umar. I just had to say that because we missed last week, so we couldn't really, And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I'm not nation building, I'm probably sleeping because I'm older now and
That
I ain't
part.
got time to be out here listening to mo. I done heard all that shit back in 1989. Let me just keep up. I heard all that back in '89, and we lived all of that. Like we've been building. This ain't some shit we discovered because we went to a marketplace with a bunch of African clothes and medallions and food,
Shit.
and now all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm black. No, we studied. That's when we used to have library. You had to go and research
Oh shit.
stuff, and you had to go. You know what I mean? You bought all the videos and listened to all the lectures. I did all of that when I was 18, not
Read the
40,
book.
not
Yeah.
60, not even 30. We had already been past that. That's why we were always with people who were nation builders. Like I don't
True
understand
that.
why we don't have no black clinic where you can go and get your blood pressure
Yeah.
checked. I'm just saying. So I don't know. I mean, I just feel like, whew, I feel sorry for y'all who are just discovering that you're African or black or whatever word you want to use this decade to describe yourself. Because part of it is you are going to get abused because we just hand ourselves over and don't even use no goddamn common sense. Big Mama
That
may not
part.
have used the term African, but they knew who they were.
That part.
So you might as well stay in church and let a pimp you. That's what the hell you should do. At least you know the same place you're going to. At least you may read that Bible and get inspired. I don't know what you read when you go to a place that said everything African in the same 5, 10 spots, same earrings, same perfume, same fabric, same donuts. Like what if I mean, how the fuck is all that liberation? Like all you're doing is consuming. I think somebody
Yeah.
got an idea, probably did a food market. That's good because you have to eat. But shit, they should be having farmers and gardens and shit like that. Because all the farmers I go to, that none of them are black. That I go out to their ranch, except for my homegirl Javon when I get to Louisiana. Like her ranch has a catfish farm. She got chicken. She got all kind. She got gobs of vegetables and stuff growing at her place. So, because she about that life. That's what I'm saying. You mean
We
somebody's
do
about
have.
that life?
I do know there is a farm here. I think there's really a farm, but I don't really see them doing a lot of collaborations with them either. They don't take tours over there and take people over there or direct people over there. So I
I
know he
just
does.
don't.
He gives a lot of food to people who do different programs. So I know he has a farm, and
Yeah,
Mr. Lewis does a lot of work with him. But I don't see. It's not a day that he's there selling fruits or anything. So I yeah, you know. that I know of, but I don't really frequent
It
that shit
just
no
gets
more because I'm
tiring. That's
old.
all. I'm just saying. I'm
Yeah.
52 years old. I've been doing this work since I was 18. So for me, you can't really fly nothing under the radar for me. I don't think Negroes are cute because they got because I don't know because maybe they big and maybe they slinging big. I'm so not into the dick like that. I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that power of the
Oh
dick is
God, this
serious. And I
girl.
don't mean to say it like that, but you know I ain't lying because this thing was in the nation. Most of the women was in there because they were trying to get some dick. They really weren't in there because they got inspired by the Malcolm X movie or they got inspired to be with black people. Because at the end of the day, some of the shit they wanted us to do was like, dude, I can't be stupid because this nigga is dumb. Like, I won't do that. Like, are you serious? You know, so I'm just saying it's that I don't know what you call it when women are supporting misogyny because they're lazy. Like I've never been in a place before where we had to come in and paint the waiting room so it would look like something. I'm like, where do these black women come from? Why y'all ain't painting the mask? Like what the fuck is going on? The study group rather. Place we go.
When you
Like
moving your
why?
hands or something, it's making you come in and out a lot, so your
Yeah,
voice
I'm
fade
about
in
to
and come
take
out.
that background off. I'm about to take that background off. That's all. I think that's messing with me. But anyway,
Yeah.
but that's all. I'm gonna start with my hands so you can get that sound in. But I'm just saying, I just feel like I don't know. I don't know. That's just there's a lot of those things I peep game on. And then because I'm the type of person that's been in a lot of other communities, I don't think is that it's because they know who they are. I think it's because there was a time when black folks supposedly didn't know who they were, but you know, even though you
Got shit
clean you was
done.
a maid, you
You got it
still
done.
yeah, right. You still wanted to present beautifully and nice, and like I don't know where that come from. I don't know if I see another heifer with red bottom shoes on, and she's telling me that she's still renting an apartment and she got 50 roommates. I'm like, why do you got red bottom shoes on? I don't. That shit's not cheap unless you painted them red. Then okay, but it's something about us keeping up with the Joneses. Like I just looked at all of my clothes. I got all these African clothes made. I was like, I don't need to buy another outfit. Like I've supported an African woman by her making all of my clothes. I did that for a couple of years straight. So I don't know. I just feel like
I
I'm
have a
not in
question
with
for you. When
this.
you talk
I
about
want
the red
this.
bottoms, let's get on that a minute in home ownership. I know you brought your home, well, I think it was last year, maybe the year before last. I'm not
Yeah,
sure when you brought it.
yeah.
Is that when you really started noticing the gripe or the trend, because you know, you've been very steadfast on home ownership over the last
You know
couple of
why?
and is that what you were seeing the struggles it was to buy a home or what made you, 'cause I don't
Well,
like 5 years ago you
no,
wasn't on home ownership. Now it's like home.
yeah.
So what
But I
have
was,
you
I
in
was,
your
I was
search?
on home ownership, but with myself, to myself, because I don't have a mate
So
like
yeah,
that.
maybe
I've
not in
always
person, but
what I've learned from when I worked for the captain back in 1993
mhm,
is that she was able to do stuff because she had home ownership and that was her collateral.
equity.
So she wasn't waiting on
Mhm.
people to be like,
That was
your
her
credit
background.
score. She used that. But my thing is, I could never really get to that hump because I didn't make
And you
enough
had
to
some
buy a
more.
house. But
Mm.
even though I couldn't, I still didn't want to live in affordable housing.
Well, we did buy a home, we were 21 to 24. So I'm saying we did, but I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
recently, have you seen it like
yeah.
it
But
just
now as I get
damn near
older,
difficult to
I
get
see
home
that.
ownership?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, because it was always going up, and usually when you get with a mate, this is honest God truth. I didn't want to live in the Bay, but
Mhm.
in Sacramento, I wasn't sure if I wanted to stay here, but I knew I wanted to buy something, and I was
Mhm.
very shocked when I
Sorry,
was
my nose
able
is
to
running.
buy a home by myself.
Mhm.
That was shocking
Mhm.
for me because I kept trying to find like I'm gonna need a cosigner, but that asking somebody to cosign on the house, that ain't like the damn car. And we
That
talking
part.
$500,000. Nobody co-sign on $500,000. They like, you
That
crazy.
real talk.
But I just
Yeah.
feel like, and then I also look at the history, and I got really tired of hearing black folks talk about affordable housing
For
when it
housing.
keeps us
Mhm.
in the same rut. And I remember Javon sharing the story with me when her and her ex-husband, when they were together in Frisco and they were living in affordable housing, and they had to really sit down besides praying and really look at how do we make this
How to
leap from
get the hell out of here.
and affordable
Mhm.
housing to home ownership. And when they did that, they never looked back. So they've owned several homes since
Mhm.
then. But imagine like because sometimes we're always looking for the what's gonna be cheap so we can make it. But at some point you
Mhm.
gotta make that leap to owning something because that's where the equity
Mhm.
coming at. And nobody ever really taught us equity because we were
Mhm.
always in survival mode. That we had a great mom. Again, she was a married single mother. So she
So she
couldn't
had to
depend
make
on
it.
my
Yeah.
dad's very good income because the nigga didn't bring it home. Like I'm gonna say it like that. So here she was
Mhm.
working the jobs. There was no way in hell she was gonna be able to buy a house on her own.
And that's what made me ask you that, because I know some people always act like it's just such an easy, well, you got a job, go buy the house. It's not really that simple. And that's why I hear you say, when we talk to these different politicians, stuff like that, what are you doing for the person who wants to have home ownership and it's just them? So that's why that was my purpose for the question. Because sometimes people just act like, oh, just you should be owning a house. Yeah, like it's not really that simple if you by yourself trying to qualify for loans. You people
It's,
know that just from trying to rent some shit. You can't even rent shit with a single income,
hey,
little
you
let
know
alone
what?
buy
You
something.
know what I? You know what I think of? I think of that scene in Good Times. I'm not taking it back because I'm a '70s baby. There's a scene in Good Times where all of them was trying to pull their rent together to buy a house, and it wasn't enough. And you remember the
Mhm,
man who was supposed to be like the loan officer was crying, and they thought like somebody was one of them was crying, but it was the white man's like, I know you're always trying to get ahead. And he was, and I don't care about that part. But it's like black folks can still pull their resources together and still not qualify. But we look at other groups that come
and
here
see,
fresh off the boat and they got a house that they own. And I think that has a
yep,
lot to do with political power and what we're asking
mhm,
for. That's what pisses me off. It's kind of like we've been here too goddamn long. You've been renting in your house for 10 years. Why can't you own that goddamn?
why
That's
you own
10
that
years of
house?
equity that you can't even pull that money back out. And that's why we're always behind that 8 ball trying to figure it out. Or if you could just do this, and then they come out 20 years later, Wells Fargo on purpose didn't want to give black people loans. Well,
Give black
shit, we
people
know
loans.
that.
Mhm,
We
mhm,
already knew that. I mean, we don't need no goddamn survey. That you can tell about the
yep,
groups and where people are and where we are.
mhm,
So that's why sometimes I can't do political bullshit because I don't give a fuck who in office. If this fool gonna help me sustain a loan, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that's what happened when Donald Trump was in office for me. And I
mm,
didn't even vote for the man. Neither times. But I didn't vote for a Democrat either. I vote for like Jill Stein and some bullshit. I just couldn't do it because I lived through Biden locking up all the black men with the crime bill. So I can never vote for that man. I don't give a fuck.
mhm,
If he said we're gonna have free chicken Wednesdays, I wouldn't give a damn. But what I'm saying is
mhm,
Donald Trump giving it enough distraction where I was able to slide through some door on some shit I would have never got under a Democrat.
mhm,
Because
mhm,
I've been working with them the whole time. I've also worked with people who are lifelong Democrats, and them niggas bought houses but didn't think to make sure I got a house.
mm,
And they knew I was a hard worker.
mhm,
I helped some of them move into their house. They never even thought, let's make sure this little sister gets something. But that's a black lifelong Democrat Negro. That's who we've been
mm,
having. Because they want to make sure they get it, but not their constituents. And reason why some neighborhoods are stronger, Khadijah, is because they take care of the people who are in that community. That's
the
why the Rolling
neighborhood,
40,
absolutely.
yeah, the Rolling 40s is going to definitely look different than Meadowview. It's going to definitely look better, different than Del Paso Heights because they take care of their
Mhm,
constituents. And nobody wants to talk
mhm.
about it because we want to feel like this is the answer to us. That ain't the damn answer. We got to ask better questions and expect better outcomes.
Sonia says a lot. Hey, Sonia. A lot of them come to America and get hooked up by their folks with all the information on how to do it, as well as they have their own banks and private resources.
Yeah, that definitely. I mean, look, we could count that there's at least 5 Asian banks in Sacramento, at least five, and that's me counting the ones that I see when I'm driving on Freeport Boulevard.
When they
That's
have the
why a lot of
Chinese writing,
yeah,
uh-huh.
and that's why downtown a lot of Japanese Americans own most of Midtown in the houses, and so some of
Mhm.
it is they have their own bank, but some of it is because banks have like they have redlining. Same
Absolutely.
thing. Same thing. I'm not even gonna put it on. I mean, I definitely know they have resources, but I also know too is that they definitely target
It's
not to.
divine plan. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a divine plan not to, yeah.
but then the
Sister
Negroes will come
Melazar
along and
says,
say we need affordable housing. Man, get out of here. I'm sorry.
Sister Melazar says, I agree 100% with Sonya. That's how it's done. And see, the secret is out now, and they're doing everything they can to try to cover that shit up again. Yeah, they definitely help their own. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I
they
don't
that's
even
a
think that's a
definite.
bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing to
It's
get
not.
your own. I don't think it's a
It's
bad
not.
thing to look
We
out
should
for
be
your
wondering
people.
why we don't ask our people that's in power for anything. So yeah, it's nothing. I could. Don't you do
That
that? Never
part.
no more.
Yeah, but no, that
But
part
no.
though, I feel
But
like
yeah,
there's
that's
nothing
that's
wrong.
that's
If
the
I
part.
could at least count 5 banks, they're not ashamed of it. They writing this wrong on the side of the wall. I can't be mad at
Mhm,
that. What pisses me off though, that when black people get to a certain place, they don't think about that for the rest of us. They help
mhm.
build the wall even higher.
Yep.
They
You
don't
want to
whistle
be the
blow
only
unless
one there.
they don't whistle blow until they get fired. Now they want all of
That
us
part.
to come to their
to
goddamn
jump on the
rescue.
bandwagon to support their ass. Yep. Yep.
Why would I want to
Black
do that?
folks haven't learned how to unite to make it happen. Absolutely not. And I don't think that, yeah,
Let's
some of them
talk
could be
about that
comfortable being the
unite.
only
So
person.
what does unite look like? And I'm just asking that question because maybe I'm gonna adjust my camera. So I'm gonna put you up here so I can adjust my camera. But what does that mean? Because I hear unite.
I
I
think
don't know
unite
if it's
to
yeah,
me
talk
looks
to
like
me.
people with like-minded things, with like-minded agendas and ideas. That don't mean we have to have the same religion, because everybody Asian don't have the same religion. So to me,
You
unite
sure
means
don't?
coming together with those who share commonality with you to build certain things. Be it get home ownership for each other, be it having a supermarket, being starting a school for our children, being a safe community. To me, that's what uniting looks like. It doesn't necessarily look like we have to agree on every aspect of each other's lives and we're going to all think the same, breathe the same, eat the same, walk the same, dress the same. That's not uniting. Uniting to me is being able to come together on commonalities, common things to help us both to reach something better. That's uniting to me. I don't think it's going to be as generic as people. It's not as simple as we're going to all live together and we're going to all think the same. You guys, okay? We're going to all do our hair like we're going to all dress like this. You got to find some how you say find your tribe and for real find your tribe, not just some niggas that we're that say that, but really find people who are really into nation building.
Right
Who
on.
into home ownership, into businesses. You got to find your and then unite with those to do things, and they may not be black. I've come to the realization, you
That
guys. I'm gonna be honest.
Khadijah.
I've just seen. I have been really flabbergasted over the last few months with some behavior to some black people that I've held in very high accord. I really thought very highly of that has just totally slapped the shit out of my face. Not literally, but I'm just surprised at uh how can I word this? I'm surprised at their actions of how they're treating the black community. And I'm just really surprised. I don't think it would ever be where we can all unite because I don't even know if we're going to be able to unite with just black people because some of these people I don't want to be around. If you can be doggish and snakish and we ain't got shit, can you imagine we really had a empire or a big community, how you would be if you scandalous and we still broke as fuck at bottom of the totem pole? I don't know if I can trust you when we really got some real money or some real something. I don't want nothing to do with some of these people. Some people are just very evil. It's about me and mine and you do you and yours, and that's frightening. So I don't want to unite with people like that just because we black. I think that's crazy. I don't want to do it.
So let me back up. And I agree with Sonia in your definition, if that's the same definition. But I'm gonna give an example. So I'm in a lot of Africans from the African continent communities,
Hmm.
and they don't got whole little spaces, y'all. They got whole spaces. They got what's this out here in Roseville.
They got
They got
West
a
Sac,
little community at West Sac. But what it is, they help each
hmm
other buy houses.
Worldview, hmm
Yeah, think about it, because I've been in some of these places,
ones
and
with
so
the
my
money
thing
help.
is,
Yeah.
I feel like they've identified their strengths and they work because it's different when there's 10 of y'all as opposed to when there's 100 of y'all. Like it's just different. And I think that finding your tribe really is important. I think I found part of my tribe, but they don't look like me necessarily
Hmm.
because they look out for me in a way that sometimes when there are people that we share some of the same pigment, it's like they almost believe that I want the freebie. And it's like I work for my shit every day. I don't even know where the fuck you even got that from. I work for my stuff every day. But in our mind, we constantly think that some of us are looking for the freebie when some of us have been working our whole lives. Like, dude, you get to have the job you have because I came before you and other people have come
Hmm.
before you so that your black ass could even work where you're working. You're muted, Khadijah.
I'm sorry, I was asking a question to somebody in the house,
Oh,
not to
sorry.
y'all. Go ahead.
I thought you were trying to talk and
No,
you're listening. I'm sorry. So I
he
don't
was
know. I
just
just
telling
feel
me
like
the 49ers then came back and now the Niners is in the lead. Go ahead.
yeah, that game is fixed, child. You know that's fixed. So
Uh,
I just felt like, for instance, today we kind of wanted to talk about some different things because sometimes I know we share a lot, and it usually be about some other things. But we're gonna look at some things like what do we do with people in our community, since we're gonna talk about all of us being an hour. Um, let me see if this is right here. Sorry, y'all. I got all of these windows open.
that's all right.
So let's see. I think it's this right here. Is that it, Khadijah? So a mother takes her son into Walmart and he's damn near naked and
Only
free.
had on a diaper.
Yeah, in Walmart and
20 below.
talk to him. to it, Khadijah. Talk, because I know you have brought
It
this
was
to my
20
attention.
degrees
And
outside. 20 degrees outside. She came into a store, Walmart, with her infant child, toddler child with only a diaper on. The lady in the store who worked at Walmart started filming her. A older black lady who you see there in the wheelchair went and got the baby a shirt and some clothes to put on, warm him up. And that stranger gave him a big puff coat to put on. And the mother proceeded to cuss them out, tell them to mind their business. They wound up calling 911. CPS came and got the baby, and he was released to a relative. The mom, I believe, was locked up. But the shocking part of this video is the young lady who works at Walmart who saw this baby shivering, lips turning purple. He's cold because it's 20 degrees outside. She was fired from Walmart for taping while she was on work at work. And so they have since done a hey cuz they have since done a GoFundMe and raised some money for her. But I mean, we always talk about protecting the children in our community, and then when their sister speak up, she gets fired. You know what I mean? So I'm glad the community came and helped her out. But my other thought was, what's up with this young mom that what's going on in her mind that her baby would be out in the snow with a diaper on? Like that's just it's sad. It's just this whole thing right here. Just and I don't before we would watch the news, and I'm not probably the oldest one on here, but we would see shit like this right there. She just threw some cold food on the baby lap, and the older black man behind her is going on her ass. Like, why would you throw frozen vegetables on this baby? He's cold already. So she's arguing with him. She's going to start twerking with him. And I think this goes back to the culture that we are cultivating for our people that ratchetness is
mhm.
okay. Like, she's going to stop right here and twerk because they checking on her baby. Like, what? Oh, there's just so much. Mental illness is serious. Yeah, it got to be something mental, Sister Belazar, because or she under the influence of something, or I don't know, but this just hurt my heart. And before we watch the news and we would hear stuff like this, and we would automatically know it was not a black woman. For me, at least, I would watch some shit like, well, that ain't black. Now, everything that we hear about that's crazy that used to be them other folks, they're our folks, and that's really sad and scary. Like that is what is happening in our community like that this baby's in the store with a pamper on with a mother like this. What uh,
Well,
I'm
Khadijah,
flabbergasted.
I, yeah, I just feel like I'm gonna be honest with you. When I think of coming children, I don't give a fuck about your mental health status. I don't,
Oh,
because to me, children are the most important thing we have. I cannot be concerned about this woman. The child is first for me. Now we got time. We come back around to her or something like that. Let me stop that. We could come back around. You know what I mean? But I just find us always wanting to have an excuse for when people show up in our communities doing crazy shit like this. We always have a reason why that is. Instead of being like, this shit was wrong, she was wrong, and we got to protect children. I just don't hear that shit no more.
well,
I don't.
I hear
I
it from
don't.
some people.
Yeah.
I don't know
I'm
their
talking about,
whole
I'm talking
story.
about what I hear.
I would
Yeah.
hope and pray that she got some type of mental. I just hope she ain't a trifling ass mama who just ain't put the baby no goddamn clothes on and want the mama. I'm hoping and praying that some chemical
I agree
imbalance.
with that,
That's not
Tina.
excuse for her, but I hope and
I
pray
agree with Tina
that
what
this
she
bitch
just
ain't
said.
just bring the baby out like Tina says apparently she has some mental drug issues and needs to get into type of treatment ASAP. She does not need that baby until she gets yes, that's my whole thing is take the baby. Like you
Yeah.
could be out
That's
here
what I'm
free.
saying.
I don't care what happened to you. But unfortunately the employee violated. Yeah, but what okay, so Sonia, I get it, she violated. But was she supposed to just let this go unchecked? Because sometimes if you don't have camera evidence, video evidence, nothing happens. And so shit, then we'll see the news later on this week, and this baby done froze to death, or she done killed the baby because she tired of dealing with him. Lana, where's the other clip we got
I'll
with
get
the
you.
mom who
Let
beat?
me hold on. Give me a
Yeah,
minute to get it up. Hold on.
right, so there's another story that we're going to be talking about where there was. Let me read this comment. Sister Belzar. They are
Yeah.
constantly asking people if you see something, say something, get involved, help out. But when you do, it's going to cost you your livelihood. That doesn't make sense. Y'all need to make sense of this. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like I commend the young sister for saying something. The problem for me is if she was white, mental health would have been first. Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. I don't
See,
know. Yeah,
I don't have time to do. I don't
yeah, I
have.
don't.
See, this is not true. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time. Like, well, comparing racism at the time like that. That's when we get this shit all wrong. That's why some people kind of disconnect from us because we pull that card out at the wrong goddamn time.
And she
That's
need a
a
whole ass
baby.
whooping for had a
Yeah,
baby
that's
in the
a
store with a
baby
diaper
right
on.
there.
Like, and,
The
and,
baby
and, and
don't know
like,
nothing
where is
about
your?
that.
And not to be funny, I'm sure people that are around her know she ain't all there. Like we know people in our community who may be a
I
little
know.
something. So we already know what's going on. So you keep an extra eye. You say something. So
Mhm.
this right here, y'all. Miami woman. Uh, she's recorded herself beating her 2-month-old child, and then sending the video to the father because she's mad at the dad and saying, "I'm stuck with this thing until it dies." What is going on with our young black people? Like, what in a 2-month-old? And since it's recorded, ain't no allegation. She recorded it. They should be beating her ass when she hits the jailhouse. She should be getting a straight old school beat down, doing something to a 2-month-old. Like, this shit is getting crazy. She should have called CPS and held
That's
that
where
video
I'm
for
at,
evidence.
Tasha.
There's absolutely no excuse for
Yeah,
poor treatment of a child. There is none.
that's
And
where I'm
I
at.
can't
That's
even
where I'm
tell her.
at.
Yeah, and I want to say I'm glad she intervened because right now, like I said, we know people right now that abuse children. Some people are on the block. This kids look dirty, and we don't say shit. We'll just sit and watch that kid who hair is never combed for weeks and let them go into school. During COVID, I seen a lot. I have some children on my block. Those kids would come outside in pajamas every day. Hair would have them because they didn't have to go to school. They was over. There was online learning. Kid, the barrettes in their hair that had a length around the knockers. Like, you know, I'm gonna say something. I always talk to the kids outside getting candy. So I talked to the mom like, "You want me to help do their hair or do see what was going on with her?" She was working 2 jobs. The kids was well, yeah, they out here all the time. They got pajamas on. We got to say something. We can't always wait for CPS or somebody to intervene when it comes to our children. That's how these kids wind up dead. Period. We cannot always wait for people to. If you know something or say something. I'm glad the young sister recorded this shit and got evidence. And people probably would have thought she was making it up. To see that mama sit and twerk and everything else while her baby sitting in the cart and his lips and shit turning purple is crazy. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I just don't have
But
a
this
lot of
mama with the
empathy for people like
beating the baby,
that.
I
Sorry.
just a 2-month-old baby, like what I don't that's a baby. That's an innocent child. I don't
I
know.
just don't. I
I
just
don't know what's going
don't.
on with people.
Yeah, I just, Khadijah, for me, I just don't get all this other stuff about the person's mindset. Evidently, something is wrong. And I also feel like sometimes when we come up with excuses, we I feel like that's in the same line of waiting for someone to solve something you could solve for yourself. I just don't come from that. Like I've been doing this work since I was like 18 years old. I didn't wait till after I
Expound on that.
did a whole bunch of shit, huh? So, like for instance, I mean, I was a foster care of
Expound
my
on that.
parent when I was 19 years old. Like we could have been like calling CPS on all those mothers that came through our project, but my ex boss, everybody became a foster care parent so people can get back to their parent. And when they did all of like their parenting class and stuff like that, I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like we're in an era of people having so many goddamn excuses for things that we should not have excuses on. I think when anybody harms a child,
Let me
I
let
don't
me
I don't
Let
give a
me read
damn.
LaDonna's
Yeah.
LaDonna's comment. There's a difference between poor parenting and dangerous parenting. Not combing hair regularly is different than neglect and abuse. Not combing hair when the child has dirt rings in their hair is neglect to me. Then not the child having on the same color, dirty pajamas for days at a time. That's neglect to me. Abuse is not always physical. There's a lot of emotional abuse. There's a lot of mental abuse. So yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I know you also work for CPS, so I know you have to say the politically correct thing. But abuse comes in many different forms. We shouldn't wait till the child got whelps on their fucking body, or the child got a black eye, or the child is malnourished before we step in and say something. We can see neglect. There are beginning stages of neglect as well.
Mhm.
Sometimes CPS coming when it's full blown neglect. Sometimes there are little inklings, little drop, little things that you can see that something is not right and there's neglect going on. So we can't wait until the child is half fucking dead before we step in and do something or say something to our neighbor. So yeah, if I see a little girl outside, she got the same pointers in her hair for a whole month. We doing COVID. She got the same pajamas on. They dirty outside. The bottom of her feet is black. Some people may say, "Oh, that's not neglect. She outside." Yeah, she shouldn't have on the same clothes for weeks at a time. Something's wrong in the home, and I'm going to always speak up. But there are different levels to neglect, according to me and how I was raised, not according to any white person's institution that going to tell me what neglect is. When a child is not being kept, cleaned, fed properly, that is neglect to me.
Well, I agree. I don't disagree with that. I just also think it depends on. That's why always hear me say, "Well, what I deem or what I,"
Oh,
because
Tasha,
I
real
don't
quick
share this.
before
I
you
don't
get
share
started.
the same view.
Before
Yeah,
you get
but
started, Tasha said, I can't give anyone a break for child abuse. They are kids.
yeah.
You don't have all this mental illness when you laying up. Sorry. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. All them excuses don't even matter. That baby is not being cared for. She's sleeping in the same pajamas. She's waking up in pajamas. She's not bathing. That's neglect. But see, for some people that CPS would have to say bruising, or they don't have hot water, or they don't. All of that shit is mental. This baby. Yeah, I could go on forever in a day, but yeah, that's absolutely neglect to me. That's my mama made sure we washed our ass every day. Our hair was combed every day. See, I have a different a mirror of what parenting is because I had a mom that was active. She never put no man
Yeah.
before us, not even her own
Never.
husband. So my mom put us first. So it was never we never had to guess if she loved us. We never had to figure out. We was never no uncomfortable shit because a man was before us, so she was neglecting us due to her wanting to drink alcohol, to go out to party, to whatever. My mom didn't do that. So to me, her children came first, and I expect that for all mothers, for their children to become before their desires and their pleasures. I agree with you,
Mm,
Khadijah. I'm saying there's a difference between ain't shit. Ain't shit and actual neglect and abuse. I'm not condoning to make excuses, especially for a thing you saw. No, I know you're not, but sometimes when you word things and say this level, that's not neglect. This neglect in my eyes. It may not be neglect by the protocol you have to follow for the company you work with. That's neglect in my eyes. And I get what you're saying.
yeah.
So a
Well,
person that never has, that doesn't see life as you do. Wait, I don't
yeah,
understand your comments on you. So a person that never has that doesn't see life as you do. What do you mean? Go ahead,
that's
Red.
no, that's a good one. No, I was just saying, I do think Khadijah part of it is see, I remember when before they came out with the ACEs test and all that kind of stuff. When I worked in the crack era, and I say it just like that, was that whole era because I was young, I didn't know much, I was learning. But thank God it was some older women that I worked for who understood all of that impact. The stuff now that we call the ACEs survey. Have you ever been abused? Have you ever not had clothes and food and all that kind?
Mm,
Somebody see your mama calling your mama a bitch or beating her, backhanding her and shit. Like all of that's in the ACEs survey when you go to the hospital, particularly Kaiser, and you have a chronic illness, and they start asking you these fucking questions. And some people ACEs scores higher than the
mm,
motherfucker. You only could get 10. Some people I know it's 8, 9, and 10. I'm just
mm,
saying like that how high it go. And so we didn't count. See, sometimes in our community, we are so used to condoning bad behavior and making it like this point system, like, oh, that's a 2. When the shit is probably a 10. And because we're resilient and making it through, didn't mean it wasn't scarring. That's why it's
mm-hmm.
so hard for people to be with people right now. Because as soon as they hear that bullshit that they remember seeing their mama go through, they don't want to fuck with the person.
They
And I
out.
can't blame them because nobody wants to do struggle love. That's crazy.
Gotcha.
These are your questions up there. I'm
Sister
sorry.
Belazar said that is neglect. You're doing your job. That baby's probably not eating. She's not bathing. She's not getting her hair combed. That is neglect. You ain't got to be the child to cause neglect. True that. And Sister Sonia said the person that hasn't experienced an active, loving parent doesn't see life like a person that does have that kind of parent. And so I agree with you to a point to that too, because I didn't grow up in a household with my father, but I knew what I wanted a loving father to be like. Because I didn't experience it, I knew what I wanted him to make. So I made sure that any man that I got was going to be a loving father, and he had to display those activities. Sometimes not having something doesn't mean you don't know it, because sometimes you can see things from other homes or other things, and you can want to, like, we before we buy new items, or before we buy something, we usually see somebody wearing it, right? Before you watch a new show, we see all of the advertisement talking about the new show or movie, right? So it makes us want to go see it, be a part of it, right? So you don't have to necessarily come from a loving parent to know how to be a loving parent.
Shit, if you grew up
So
watching
I think
Cosby
that's
Show,
another
I've heard so many men talk about Bill Cosby, the character of Cliff Huxtable as an idea. That's all they
Mhm.
had. But at least they understood that I could probably be that way if I got some help or, had some mentors. So I think that's the other part. I
Mhm.
just feel like we do a lot of thinking we know what's going on in people's heads. I try, all I can speak is from my experience. Sometimes young people hear it and be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I get that." And some people are like, "I never experienced that, but until I met you." So
Never thought of
everybody
it that way.
has
Mhm.
people along the way. But it's kind of like when white people. But one time I was in a meeting and then they were giving out the stats for kids or whatever this program, and somebody said the young people they're not having a safe place to sleep, and that's why they're up all night. And I said, well, when I asked the kids, they told me they was up all night playing on their video games. But it just felt really
Mm.
good to this white woman to say that we didn't have safe homes instead of saying, did you ask they ass why they was up sleeping in class? Because they was up
Only do
all
they
night on
have a
the
safe home, they got a PS5, they got cameras in front
yeah.
of their home, they got a refrigerator full of food,
But
they got, yeah,
that's what
yeah.
that make me think of. Like we always ready to take the low road instead of being like, no, I'm gonna need you. Because I've seen us when we want something, we'll raise that bar when we want something. We'll raise that bar. But if people see you, I think that's the thing, for me, Khadijah, I just get really sick of people like acting like black folks like don't have the ability to differentiate things that they really want. People know when they're doing shit and it's wrong. They know. But if we gonna give them a way out, they'll take that too. That's
I
what I
think
feel.
sometimes in our community, we do a lot of condoning behaviors, where we will give somebody an out for doing a particular act or, acting a particular way. We'll give them an out saying they were in a single parent family or, they come from the ghetto. Or their mama was working a lot. I'm just naming shit that our mama did and we came out okay. And we're not the only ones. I'm not acting like my mama was a saint. Well, I do
No.
call her Saint May. But there were a lot of people in our community at that time was doing the same shit my mama was doing, taking care of their family, maintaining, keeping the kids out of trouble, and doing everything. It wasn't a rare being like it is now. To be honest, because it's looking like black mothers, awesome, amazing black mothers, are becoming extinct as well because we buying into the bullshit of everybody else and we just letting our kids be free for alls and do what they want to do. But yeah,
Mhm.
I definitely agree with that. Tasha said at some point we have to look at the child and put ourselves in that moment. That child was in a cold grocery cart with no clothes. If that was me, I would be hurting. A child in dirty clothes and uncombed hair, if that was me, I would be uncomfortable. At what point do we put ourselves there to change this? Exactly. We absolutely. Rolanda, are you frozen? Okay, no, you wasn't even moving for a minute.
No, I want
Yeah,
to.
Tasha, I totally
Yeah.
agree. Hey, Keon. Hey, Sybil. What's going on?
So yeah, that just kind of
Um,
killed me.
yeah,
I just
it was just
I'm stuck with this baby until it
just
die.
the
I'm like,
abuse.
who does a video and send it to their baby daddy, basically saying I'm beating the shit out my kid and I can't wait for this kid to
Yeah,
die.
that
And we
part.
just skip right over that shit like it was a flight.
Yep. Some in our communities give excuses because we say that's none of our business. Yes, it is our business. Either it takes a village or it doesn't. You got it, Tasha. You got it. You got it.
Mm-hmm.
But then some people don't even take care of their own village, like in their immediate family. They got people that they know shouldn't be having their goddamn kids. And Terrence, what is that? Sorry, y'all.
No,
Okay, it
I
was
don't
a
know.
weird sound outside. Some shit was blowing up. I'm sorry, y'all couldn't hear it. But Tasha, yeah, I agree. It is our business, and that's what kept our communities made it safer for us before because we did care about our neighbors' children. That's what made our community safe. You know what I mean? It's safer than it is now. I was just telling my sister on the phone. I have a little old lady across the street, Miss Emma. I think she's like in her late 70s. I'm not sure. The other day she knocked on the door. She was going out of town, and then she knocked on the door, came back and gave me her son's number, her nephew's number, and another person, her cousin's number. This in case I don't see her outside for a couple of days because she lives alone. And so now that I'm on that. If I don't see her a couple of days, I'm calling them. Miss Emma, you good? But that's what we did in our communities. Like we looked out for each other, and that included children too. Abuse didn't just happen in the 2000s. And the people didn't just start abusing children in 2000s. That's been happening in our communities forever. But we had people who held people to some standards and would
Yeah,
not condone you beating the shit out your kids.
that's
Like,
so.
no, keep your, no. Sister Belzar, do you know what's really sad if you try to help that child, the mother be ready to fight you and see, I'm not ready to go to jail, but I sure knocked the hell out of her. Exactly. And she was a little, at first, because I always say hi to them and stuff like that and give the kids like little braces, stuff like that. So the mom kind of was familiar with me. But yeah, the people don't want to saying shit about their kids. A lot of the relatives of abused kids won't step up and care for them because they don't want to make it easy on the mama. Very true. Very true.
Well, we know.
Yep. Yep. I get it.
So there's another one now. We talk about mothers. This is a mother who went to the club and called out her underage daughter and told her to take her ass out. Like, come on, you ain't even supposed to be in here. See,
Or
that's
she
the
was gonna
mama
shut
I'm
the
talking about.
club down.
Yeah, she was gonna shut the club down. Of course, the little girl came forward and left because she didn't want to mess the party up for everybody, I guess. But that's brave to go to a club because we be so about worried about embarrassing our child. But then when she get raped in the hotel room and don't show up with no organs, then we be like, where was your mama?
That part.
So
And not only the DJ tried to take the microphone back, she stiff armed his ass with an elbow, like back up. It was she said get to whatever her name is, something with it. Get your ass out of here. You know you end up being this damn club. You something there. I would have took off. But I commend the mama. She was home probably chilling. God where her daughter probably went live, because this is a generation of lives. She probably went live in this club or something because the mama found out she was in the club and rolled up and got up out the club.
I love
Sonia,
it.
Sonia said, on the same token, I have worked with people who don't see their behavior as wrong. However, you receive empathy and love is usually how you give it. Unfortunately, some of those behaviors are normalized and they're parenting. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah. I
It,
know.
they think their bad parenting is normal, and I'm here to say that shit's not normal. But I agree. Some people think this is just how we do it. Some people give their kids cough syrup before they go out. I would never do that, but some people do. That's normal in their community. Some people, leave an 8-year-old home with the 2 kids while they go to the store to the gym. I would never do that. But some people be like with a TV on, they ain't going nowhere. They just sit here till I come back. So I agree with you wholeheartedly, Sonia. Some people have made it normal. Y'all are presenting some great examples of what's really going on in our community. We need to see it like this, straight, no bullshit. We have to, LaDonna. We got to bring you on here too. I know you don't have to talk about particular cases, but we should be talking about some of the different things that we can spot that may save a child. Because I'm tired of turning on the news and these black women are killing their children. That's really, we need to see some sign. Maybe it's some signs we could look for, because people give you all kind of red flags. We just overlook the shit and tuck the flags in to act like we colorblind. But I think that would be a great topic too, as well, to have Madonna on here talking about just some of the things that we can look out for as far as neglect and stuff like that. I am so old. This is pathetic. My granddaughter is 14. I don't feel she needs to be left alone. I'm just saying, and I'm very protective. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, I understand wholeheartedly. I have a hard time leaving my son, and he's 16 and 6'5". I still be checking on him. You in the house? You go to the Yeah, so I get it. I really do. I be checking on him like you get in the car to school. You hear you that? So yeah, the world is crazy where we got to be protective. We
I'm
really
glad you
do.
do that. So do you think this next thing I'm gonna show have any bearing on? Let me see. Why I can't find this stuff. This fool. I thought this was Ricky Smiley. I did, but I mean, So this fool here.
Oh God, this Negro man gets backlash for saying if a woman is single in her 30s or 40s, she's effed up, and if she was worth anything, she'd be wifed up. Now, this man, I yeah, I started going on the physical. So I think this is a bunch of bull crap because I didn't get married until I was in my 40s, but that was by choice. It wasn't because I wasn't asked to be married before, or it wasn't because, I didn't have prospects. I just did not want to be married. I was one of those people who said I was never going to be married. I was going to become a foster mother and have hell of the children like an orphanage. That was my plan. I never sat around as a little girl and pictured my wedding and all. I just didn't want to do it because everybody I knew that had a wedding was divorced except for maybe two people out of 50s to
That's
thousands of what.
true.
I did not want to be a wife and be divorced. My mother was separated. I had siblings that were married and divorced. I had friends that were married and divorced. I just did not want to do the whole marriage thing. So I think this is a bunch of bullshit. I think probably look at this fool. Some women probably did not holler at him. It's probably somebody that he was in love with that's married and that's maybe still single because she done probably already lived her life and he saw her single and now this is his get back. I think let's look at him. He got on a red. Just look at this fool. He looked like Darius Cooks and Ricky Smiley combined. And what's the man that the Darden man that with the OJ trial? He looked like all of them combined in a
Oh
whole
Lord.
big ass person. So yeah, like Tasha said, boy, bye. And who are you to give the authority on when somebody should be married or not? Like, get sit your ass down. And how many girlfriends did he have? I'm just curious. He probably had one girl that he went to church with. Her mama made her date him or some shit like that. Look at this fool. Get your punk ass. He trying to be another Kevin Samuels woman hater. Okay. And they be women hating because they silently chase that penis and they don't want to come out and say it. That's where all this woman hating come from. These are silent penis chasers. And so they get on here and degrade black women because they don't have the mental capacity to deal with our intelligence and our assertiveness. So they want to put us down when we have standards and we want to expectations and we don't just marry the first nigga that come along and we divorced in 2 years. So he don't sit his ass down with that goddamn white collar and that red shit. He looks
Sybil
a
said
mess.
he tried to be
He
another
looks a mess.
Kevin Samuels woman hater.
Yes, yes, he is
But you
civil.
see what
I
he ended
agree.
up
If you
at
know, I'm
and
so
who he ended up with when he was dying.
I'm so tired of black men coming for black women. I'm so tired. And usually I'm not, I wonder why this anti-black woman narrative is so damn popular on social media. Like, what's the real reason he keep exactly? Like, I'm so tired of y'all.
But I'm
You
gonna
don't
tell
see
you
white
something
men on here
though.
just bashing a woman every day. I'm
Don't
so
don't
tired of
nobody
these lonely ass never got picked for tetherball ass niggas. He never got picked for tetherball. He never got picked for kickball. He was probably the only one at school standing by himself doing something. And now he's weird and mad at all the black girls who didn't want his weird ass in school. Stop being weird. Just my opinion. I don't know this man from nowhere, but that's just my opinion.
I don't even know who this cat is either. I mean, when you
Me
said this
either.
like for the show, I was like, okay, I don't even know who this Negro is. But I will say this though. I do believe that there's some linkage between this behavior and also with the hotep niggas who think women should be in a certain place. I think there's some linkages. We may call it misogyny, but I think there's some linkages to to people wanting
Absolutely.
black women to get back in line, the ones of us who fell out of the line. So I'm watching this show called Champion. Thank you, Khadijah. I love
Oh,
Champion.
just good.
And there's a
LaDonna, you would also like Champions on Netflix, LaDonna. Okay,
please,
go ahead.
please
I'm
watch
sorry.
it. It's very good. I first of all, I ain't never seen a show where have all black people on it. Like everybody in there is black, like chocolate black,
Melanated.
like
Like, yeah.
beautiful.
You
And
ain't
they're
gotta
Jamaican,
guess what
and they're
they is.
Jamaicans, by the way. It's really nice. But anyway, but there's a scene in there when they're back in Jamaica because they live in England and they're back. I think the grandfather died and they go there. And so the grandmother or the auntie, but she's like your grandmother, but they call her auntie. She got to try to put the mama in her place, and the mother read her ass. And one thing she said is, "It's because of women like you that men think they can treat women the way that they do." Because she's married to her nephew, and he done did all kind of shit. But anyway, and I thought to myself, there's some truth in that, because not only do we have this fool saying it, but sometimes you'll have sometimes women pushing the narrative with their
Women.
sons that it's okay to talk to women like that. Because if we have sons
Mhm.
and we hear some girl going in on about black men, we check her ass immediately. Because
Hell yeah.
I've seen it
That's so
done.
true.
I've seen it done. But for some reason, this fool got this idea from somewhere. And I'm not saying it wasn't black men, but I'm willing to bet you there was some women in there saying some dumb shit like that too. Because we have a way of pressuring each other. When you get married, when you having kids, nigga, what if they not doing that this lifetime? Maybe they don't want to do
That
that this
part.
lifetime. But you don't get to say, well,
That
you're
part.
out of
Mm-hmm.
place. You need to be doing this. You don't really get to do that. Y'all be doing too
Yeah.
goddamn
Song
much.
the song here said this could be what he was raised to believe. Now he wants to give advice on how women can do better. It could be, but
That's
just
what I'm talking
go
about.
talk to the men and see how they can be better husbands. It ain't for you to tell us how why we not being a wife. You know what I mean? That's my whole thing. He was rejected by a woman in each age group, and he's bitter. That's what I think. A lot of this should come out of bitterness because
He
nobody
do
ain't
be
want
better
you
with that red
participating in
ass
that.
sweater on and that collar.
That's what I'm saying. I think a lot of it come from they hating. I really do because it was probably a black woman he was in love with, and she was not checking for that fool. And then here come this bitter man syndrome. You know, they
And he
call them
lost
bitter
all his
Bettys.
hair.
No, this is a bitter Bernard. This is
Just
fucking bitter Bernard right here
and
instead of a bitter
he
Betty.
lost all his and he lost all his hair. That'll do it too.
Hold on, I gotta answer my phone. Hold on, go ahead. I gotta answer my call right
Okay.
quick. Hold on.
So anyway, so
Go ahead, keep talking, Reed.
that's okay. So that's yeah, Khadijah sent that to me and I was like, oh Lord. But the show, let me get that show up here for y'all real quick. It's called Champion, and I really like it because it's
Okay.
are you back?
Yeah, that
Okay,
was my
so
child saying he on his way home. Go ahead.
okay. I was just saying the Champion show is just really good because it hits on a lot of things. That thing about the sister always taking care of her brother because he can't take care of himself. Also holding up things that we know that is not healthy for
I was about
us.
to say, and not only her helping him, her family making her feel obligated to help him. Like it
Yes,
made when she wanted to do her own thing, they made her feel bad for wanting to live her dream when she was the younger sister. You know what I mean? Taking care of her brother.
yes.
So in that part, and also it lets you know how it also talked about fatherhood because the dad treated the sister way different than he did um the brother. And and the dad was like a
Because
little trickster. It
he
was
knew the son
it's
was weak too. He knew he was weak, so he put that
yeah,
responsibility on
yeah.
his daughter.
Yep, and he used it, and the dad was kind of pimping his kids out to make money, and then was spending on it. I don't want to give it away. You just have to watch Champion. It talks about separation that the parents were no longer together, and the mom had moved on. But it talked about how her past relationship was finna fuck up her new one because she kept allowing this man to come back and emotionally be attached to him when she had a whole mate that was holding her and her kids down. It's a very good little series. There's only one episode, one season. It's going to be a season two. I can tell by the way it ended. I'm not going to tell you, Lana, because you still got
Yeah.
one more episode to watch. But I
Oh, I
really think it's
watched it
going to
all.
be a
I watched
season
it
two.
all.
And
I
it's
watched it all.
okay. So you've seen the ending, so don't tell it. So it's going to
Yeah.
definitely be a season two. I believe it. But it's really really good. I think you guys would thoroughly enjoy
Just
um
beautifully
watching that.
motivated people. Just beautiful. It was just so good to see that. Even when they had the little love scenes,
Yeah,
I was like, black people. It was so fucking beautiful. Like I gotta check it out. Just gotta check it
it
out.
could be it was still instilled in his man. There probably, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I get it. I
That's why you gotta see that
instill
scene inside the Champion. Then you'll understand it. Like where the
mhm.
programming, and I get the manhood thing, but I also think as women, we help with that programming even when we don't think we're doing it. When we don't make them stand or be accountable, we're contributing. When we give them
Mhm.
excuses for shit, instead
Enabler.
of saying, "Why did you do that?" like we do our daughters, what you think you'll give them that? Instead of saying, "Well, it's okay." That's helping. That's helping them to keep that in order. And I ain't gonna front. In some of the black
Mhm.
community, that's a problem. Because if I meet another black woman talking
Mhm.
about her son and he just needs a good woman, I'm like, the fuck? Like,
He
why
ain't
is
a good.
you
He
out
not a
here?
good man.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I don't understand that. So anyway, that's just me. I'm like,
Think of how many women that when growing up. I'm being honest. If people on here chime in, would go to church with a good girl. I got a good son at home and he get out in 2 years. Or I got a son at home. You know what I mean? Like this girl in fucking college. She got a job. She doing good. Now you want to hook up with your son and he get out in a year. Think of how many people that we knew in our community that would hook up somebody that had some things going for her to help lift up a man that they knew shouldn't even be talking to this girl. I've seen it time and time. I can tell you, yeah,
nah, me
I
too.
have.
Me
I have.
too.
Tasha said there is no manhood there. Men do not make the woman the excuse for or the reason they are not able to land a love interest. A confident man pushes on. He's a weak, bitter man. I'm with you. Sister Bella said, that's what I was just going to say. Maybe he's not into women. You better leave that alone. Let them pick their own. That's what I think. A lot of this, I don't think they even have love for a woman because a woman is a woman to me. You may be in love with black women. We come in all shades. You can get a high yellow, a pitch chocolate if you love black women. So for you to just to go on a whole hate women thing, yeah, it's baby, you wasn't held as a child or something. I don't, I don't know. I don't. Some people wasn't. Some people really have. You think young girls have? You think women have daddy issues? These men have some fucking mommy issues. These men have some issues with their mothers. Be it the mother was not was too busy working, the mother was neglectful, the mother just didn't know how to parent. These men got some mama issues just like these women
They
have
really
some
do.
daddy issues. And
That's
sometimes
so
this shit is deeper because a man can't admit that he got an issue. A black woman, he said a minute, I was raised as my father, and I just don't know how to. A black man would never admit that he got mommy issues. Men, period, wouldn't admit they got mommy issues because they're too prideful. So it's not women, it's him and daddy issues too. Exactly. Yep. So
so
I don't know.
let me ask y'all this. How do you feel about, let me see, I'm trying to find the, oh Lord Jesus.
Oh boy.
Sorry. There was one we
Thank
kind
y'all for
of
tuning
wanted.
in tonight.
Nope. You said nope, daddy issues. Let me see what this thing is on here.
Yep. It could be, yeah, daddy issues. He got some issues. We know that for sure. Just to make a
Got
general
this
statement,
whole
like,
dress code is
nah.
an
What did you
issue.
say, Sissy?
I said this whole dress code is an issue. The dude that lost his hair, they don't know how to dress right. He should have got a man unit. Fuck it.
You
Then
know
maybe
what?
he'll.
That was a
Sometimes,
man unit. That guy
yeah.
still was been watching Cat Williams. Y'all go ahead.
I
When
also
he
think,
said Cedric was sitting like a walrus, that is going down in history. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
but I also think too is that sometimes men be going after women they know they can't have, so then they get mad about that. Did you get that?
But yeah, out of his reach, out of his scope of
Yeah.
woman,
So now he mad at all of us.
wholeheartedly.
So
Sensitive content. Baltimore BMO man live streams police standoff, confesses to multiple murders, some that other people are allegedly serving time for.
what do we
Wow.
do? What do we do with
Um,
this?
did he kill himself? I don't remember the whole backstory. I can't remember something. I think he killed himself. Um, I hope they can get some type of
Oh,
hope they get the hell out. That's what I hope. If what
okay.
he said was true, I heard he gave very detailed information that only the people that was there would know that he did the crime. You know what I mean? So
Can
yeah,
them
I hope
people
they
get
can
out
be
of jail
vindicated
though?
and
Can
get
them
out
people get out of
of
jail though?
there.
That's
And
what
some
I
of
hope.
these, huh?
Hope they can get out of jail
Yeah, me too.
for those
And
cases or
some of
whatever.
these mothers are so overbearing, they've been scared them to death. Or just yeah, we know a lot of overbearing mothers who compete with their daughter-in-laws. We were just talking about that. We know some mothers who were secretly in their mind married to their son, and not in an incest kind of way, but treated their son like the husband, made sure his dinner was made, made sure his clothes was washed, made sure anything he needed, she was fulfilling his needs. Every not sexual, but everything else. That then when he gets married, the mom has issue with the daughter-in-law because she's been treating her son like her husband. So I totally agree um, with the overbearing mothers. I totally agree, and we have a lot of them in our community as well.
We sure the hell do. You ain't never lied on that one.
Hmm
I Um, Khadijah, you shared this with me, and I wonder what. So you know how we're talking about men right now. What do you do when you go to a church and then the husband is
Woo.
divorcing his wife, but he announces it in front of the whole congregation?
Congregation. Well, this particular this yeah, they were having church service. He called, he made everything go get everybody out it's not a mess hall, that's for the overflow room and the room here and go get everybody from outside. Brought them all into the church, y'all. Had them sit down and asked them, "Do you know who this lady is right here?" They were all like, "Yeah, it's the first lady." He said, "Well, I'm letting you know today that I'm leaving her. I wanted to let all you all know I already got my bags packed, and I'm no longer gonna be with her. I'm moving out and whatever, whatever." And she said she started crying, told the people get her kids out of here. And then the church tried to whoop his ass. They thought it's throwing chairs at him and everything. 'Cause I guess she said he did a lot of his um outreach to the community was in like the projects and people that didn't have any faith. When he came in and kind of had them buy into him being a spiritual father to them and being a spiritual leader. A lot of these people came from broken homes. She said so. They said they felt like their father was leaving their spiritual mother again. They started throwing chairs at his ass, trying to whip him up. He had to get his squared up out the church. I don't know what I would do if I was in church and the pastor came out and blasted his wife like that. That'd probably be my last time at that church. That's what it would be for sure. Because I can't. It's another pastor. I can't remember his name, but his mistress came into the church, went up in front of everybody, and said that she was pregnant by him and how long they've been messing around and everything. And then he refused. The deacon trying to get him to leave the church. And he was like, "No, they got to vote me out, whatever, whatever." Like, what is going on? And are you guys shocked? Because a pastor is just a man. I mean, he may know the book. He may get in the pulpit and be able to recite some scriptures, but he's still a man. So what would y'all have done if this was y'all was in church and this was y'all pastor? Oh, wait a minute. Sister Realize I said, girl, I seen that these side chicks ain't playing with their ass. They not. They just coming out full blast.
Oh
And
shit!
they pray. You know what it is too, Sister Bellas are? Side chicks are happy being
Empowered.
a side chick. Like they're
They're
proud.
empowered.
Before you would sleep with somebody's husband, your ass would go hide somewhere. You want nobody to know. These side chicks is like proud to be a side chick. Like whoop whoop, side chick. They're happy. And yeah,
They're empowered. They're
what you,
empowered.
we can't hear
Did
you.
you hear
You
me?
want to know?
I said they are empowered.
Yes, yes. No shame in the game.
They're
None
very
at
empowered.
all. No shame in the game. Um,
I just thought
but
it.
yeah,
I
I
do
don't know
think
what's
though,
going
as
on
a
in our church.
pastor,
Has it
I
been
do
going
think
on
as a
forever? Probably.
pastor,
We just didn't have all these fucking social
yeah,
medias. Go ahead.
I just think as a pastor, it's kind of like being a parent. You're the head of something, or a father, you're the head of
Hmm.
something. I think there is
Definitely.
a there is a protocol. Like you got, it's
Absolutely.
a way of announcing it. That to me was just so damn hurtful.
Powerfully
Yeah, just
and
kind of like now
insensitive.
I'm leaving her
Absolutely.
ass. Like, dude, you the pastor. Like, you out here counseling people on marriages and shit, and
That
you
part.
leaving your wife. Like, girl, they should have beat his ass. That's what I think. I think they should
Hmm.
have beat him. That's what I think. I think he should got
Yep.
it. They should have cracked his head open.
I remember some years ago, like probably like I don't know, I don't even know if my son was born. There was a local pastor here that they had on don'tdateemgirl.com. They
I
had the
remember
pastor
that.
on there, had his picture up with his suit, said he looked like the president of Uganda. I mean, they was charging on
They
this goddamn
charged this
pastor.
fool up. I
And
remember that.
he's a widowed pastor. Had got remarried, just brought a girl to the church, married her, and then she was gone in like 6 months, never seen her again. It was just crazy. But they had his ass on Don't Date Him Girl. And he is a pastor of a Baptist church. I'm just gonna put that out there. Those who know. But they had his ass on don'tdateemgirl.com. I thought it was hilarious. And it had details. That's when like the internet really started popping, and they they started putting up all his screenshots and how he was in people inboxes trying to holler, using his status as a pastor to get these women. So don't shit shock me. Sister
So
Belazar says side chicks want to be on equal ground. I don't know where they get it from. They better leave them alone. They got nothing on fatal attraction. Yeah, you ain't never lied.
I just think it's
Never
like,
lied.
yeah,
This is hilarious.
they feel like they empowered. They got rights.
Yeah, because they do. They do because the man let them feel that way. Like they side chicks don't even hide no more. She probably come to that church, y'all. Probably be in the congress. It's probably a fellow church member. Go ahead. What's what we doing? What's on my next? Because they
So
don't
this
get. They
is
don't
the
have no goddamn shame.
FBI wanted here, But I think this is funny, just considering all the stuff that's happening right now in Black Hollywood. I think it's Black Hollywood. Says wanted by the FBI for them for telling the
Telling
truth,
goddamn truth with an
goddamn
F.
truth. $10 million reward. Now, why do you think they picked these three?
Because they don't give a damn. They're gonna say it. Monique gonna say whatever she gonna say. Cat gonna say what he gonna say, and 50 gonna say what he gonna say, and then produce people, put people to work. That's how. That's why they can't say shit to him. Because he's talking the talk, but he's walking the walk because he's employing a lot of people on his shows, and he's not paying them no crumbs either. They're able to survive and thrive and live. As long as they don't respect the marriage anymore, they don't. And then people who marry don't respect the marriage. Cause and I'm not defending the side chick because I'd never do that.
Him nor her.
Cause she
That's
ain't
no
taking
fault.
their vows with nobody. The husband took the vows in both these situations, you know. So yeah, I'm with you on that. They don't respect marriage no more. It's like people get married
I
just
think
because they can
I
stay
think they
married
be I think they be
sometimes.
homosexuals. That's what I think. I think they be getting with
That
people that can
part.
have shelter.
Mm, damn. Okay.
For some people.
Sybil
So
said,
I think Monique. Yeah, sorry.
Sybil said they've been telling the truth for years, and every time they do, they try to make them seem crazy. Yes, that's what
That's
they've
so
all
true.
said. They
That's so
Monique
true.
was. They said that Monique was difficult to work with, and she's too out. She's too outspoken, and she's too aggressive. She was like, "No, motherfucker, I done brought y'all in some money. Pay me what I owe. Like, pay me what I weigh." You know what I mean? And Cat Williams was like, "Yeah, I'm tired of playing with these people out here. I'm doing it independent." And they also do. These three people also do things independently. So if the industry don't put them on, they're
True.
gonna get put on themselves, and they do things independently. You know, I agree with that, and they're trying to hide it and convince themselves that they're not that way. Yeah, they,
Yeah.
it's a lot of homosexuality because, and now they need to just come out. We in 2024. You know, you might get further along in your pimp game if you admit you gay, because that's what it takes
I
nowadays
think
to
what
really get put on the Hollywood to admit that you know you like that. Just live with your truth. Don't
I,
don't don't get married and then fuck over the wife. Like go live your true life and leave her alone.
I agree. I think with these
You
three,
gonna say something?
Khadijah, yeah, I think with these three though, I feel like, especially with the thing that's coming out with Diddy and TD Jakes, I think for me it's just the
Have you been
brutality.
swallowed? Okay,
Yeah, no,
sorry.
but I think it's the brutality. I think like Cassie's case, it's like okay, it's one thing to have a bad breakup, but some of the shit he had this girl doing and drugging her up, to me, that was a little too much. That was like, okay, I know y'all get
Mhm.
together, y'all on that lifestyle, y'all do some crazy shit, but then now all
Y'all
this
may swing
usually
the
where
shit.
there's smoke, there's fire, and so that's why for me, you can't talk racism when we're talking about black people doing shit to other black people. Like that's really not okay. See, Puffy didn't do that to Jennifer Lopez because them fucking Puerto Ricans would have came and bust his ass. Like
Put the
she
nigga
had
head
some
off.
other people. Yeah, so it's kind of like I don't know. It's just it's the brutality for me of the whole thing. Now all they have screwed people's careers. They have really did some shit to people that they never came back from. Like it took this girl some
Mhm,
time to say this stuff against Diddy because she was with him for 10 years and stuff. So I just feel like
mhm,
it's the brutality and it's making it seem like maybe people who are gay or in the closet, whatever, that maybe they're not good people because these motherfuckers did some real weird shit in their sexuality. That's what I don't get.
mhm.
Like, be outstanding, be
Uh,
truthful. Well, for God's sakes, don't be doing all this crazy. Because there's somebody out there would do that shit probably for free. I don't know. Or
but
maybe
that's the whole thing about it. Also, let me read this comment first. They're exposing the dirty secrets of the Hollywood game, and hopefully, our kids understand that this game is not the business. Stop idolizing fame and understand the struggle of this environment.
I
Very
agree.
true. And the back of what you said they can get people to do that for free. It's not about that. It's about power and control. See, that's why it's like dehumanizing the people that he was fucking with. It's like he treated
Hmm.
them inhumane. You know what I mean? It's sick, but it's I don't think it's about people not wanting to do it because like these people have all kind of things. They have My Strange Addiction, that TV show. These motherfuckers is some weird stuff that you can get somebody to do everything you want them to do. But I don't think he wants somebody that was going to go along. I think they get a thrill out of having them
Breaking people
frightened,
down.
having them scared, degrading them. I think that probably arouses them and gets them excited. And I'm not gonna put it on like
Yeah,
gay people look bad, but I working in the field that I worked in for so long, it was some heterosexual straight people that did some weird shit to their children, weird shit to the
I agree.
animals in the family. Some people just have a very evil and demonic mindset and spirit. Puppy, some of the shit I'm hearing about him, it's like he's a demon. Like he is, that's the fucking devil straight up there skipping across the stage and shit. That's the devil. Puppy has done some stuff to these girls allegedly that is
Yeah.
absolutely disgusting. Like what? It's like he doesn't like women. Period. And like he even the stuff he did with the guys, you don't hear him saying the shit he did to them as bad as what he did to the women that he was with.
Yeah.
It's like he
Yeah.
hates women,
I,
you
yeah.
know?
I don't think it's because you get what I'm saying, but the fact that they are gay or
Or get
bisexual
mhm.
makes you rock makes your eyebrows rise. Because also on top of
I
that,
get
then
it.
we got men who think they're women and then want to beat up women when they say, no, you're not me. So there is something on
Yep.
both of these worlds, Khadijah, whether we talk about
Uh-huh.
Diddy and
I
TJ
get it.
or the men who
Mhm.
think they're women and them trying
I
to,
just hate
there's a
them.
lot of oppression of women, and this has something to do with your sexuality. The fuck I'm saying.
I believe
Because
so.
I
I
met some
believe
men
so.
who were female impersonators or, thought they were women, but they never tried to tell a woman what she was.
Like I
Because
stated to y'all
they knew
last
they
week,
were just emulating. That's all they knew they were doing, but
like
they
I
ain't
stated to y'all last week or the week before, when I think of RuPaul, I think of him as an entertainer. I've never seen RuPaul go on a show and down women ever. I've been a fan of his
yeah,
since I was, like this his work and the makeup, and I don't wear all that. But he's never went somewhere and degraded and talked down on a woman and said you're not a woman and said don't do this. He just was entertaining and he go live his gay life. I don't even look at him and be like, oh, he's a faggot. Yeah, I don't. People
me
say
either. I,
I don't.
me
He's just
either.
RuPaul because he doesn't try to put it in nobody's face. He's an entertainer. And that's what he does. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. I feel like
Yeah.
it's definitely a link in there that it's almost like they become it highlights their evil. That's
Yes,
the best
that's
way
what
to
I'm
put it.
trying to say.
It
Thank you.
highlights their evil. Tasha said he took his power too far. He was so degrading about what he did. He flaunted his power. Jaguar Wright was right all along. Yeah, she been saying this shit for years, for a long time. And you remember she was a writer, so she was behind the scenes on a lot of different people, and not just Puppy. She be talking about everything, and it's just deviant, just deviant. Yeah, it definitely it is just they sick. RuPaul has respect for women, that the utmost respect for women. He never carried himself as something other. He has a high regard for women. Absolutely, I feel that way too. Sybil said that was his high. The more degrading, the more high he gets. That's what I think. That's yeah. I think they can buy their way out of anything until someone says my life is more important. Yep. Or until people get tired of your ass. Like they're tired of Puffy. They probably kept this lot of people he probably know in New York. He's been in New York for a long time. And he probably know people in the DA office everywhere else that was burying shit and they like, you know what, nigga, it's too much. We cannot cover nothing else. I'm gonna lose my job because it ain't people was reporting on Puffy years ago. It never won. You'd hear
Yeah.
about it and it disappear. And then you hear about it and it disappear. And I think he's done his last payoff and people are like, yeah, no, you're getting out of control. It's too many victims. It's too many victims.
But,
And so I
but
think the powers that be or whoever used to support his ass is like, no, nigga,
I
you gonna
think
have to you on your own.
I definitely think he's not the Puffy who supported Daddy's House with Sister Soldier.
Sister
That
Soldier.
Puffy is gone. I also wonder when I see like these big parties with them, the one dude is like, and another one, and Rick Ross, and I look
DJ
at all of
Khaled.
that money that they've generated with the support of the Black community, and I just don't see them putting the money back into the communities they claim that they came from. That was so rough. Very few rappers have done it. Very few. But
Real
they'll
talk.
talk about how ridiculous rich they are, and when they go out of here, they can't take none of it with them.
Hmm.
People be pissing on their grave because a lot of
Yep.
there's a lot of expired drug dealers, but there's not very few retired.
That
So
part. Yeah,
yeah,
that
for
is
real.
so
I heard
true.
somebody say that before. I was like, wow, that's kind of deep. Well, sis, that's us for tonight, child. Like this is
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. Well,
Thank y'all for joining us.
yeah, definitely. It's been it was a
My
good show.
call
We
in.
try to keep y'all out here forever like we usually do. That smile be killing me.
Yeah. Which we
But
had
yeah,
a bunch of
it was
tips we were
thank y'all
trying
for
to get.
tuning in.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate
Some of
y'all
y'all we will
engaging
see
us
on
in our
Thursday.
conversations.
And some of
What you
y'all
say,
we'll see
Reds?
on Thursday. Say some of them we'll see on Thursday.
Yes, 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 yes. And Sister Belazar, we will be going live, so I'll make sure I'll tag you or text you before we go live so you can
Yeah.
uh tune in and any questions that you want to ask. So I'll make sure we do that. And yeah, that's our show for tonight, y'all. Remember, do something special for yourself because you deserve it. I